There are a number of gospel readings for Easter, starting with the Easter Vigil all the way to today. And we're familiar with those readings. And this reading is suggested. It says, if you'd like, if it's an afternoon or evening Mass on Easter, you may use the Emmaus story. And why is that? Because it occurs in the evening. And so they allow us to use that. And here in the Emmaus story, we hear what happened on Easter morning. They recount that some women came to the tomb and found it empty. And then some of the disciples, Peter and John, ran to the tomb, found it empty, found the angels, found the shroud empty. Mary Magdalene found it empty, went in the garden. The Lord spoke to her and she recognized him in the garden outside the tomb. And now we come to the afternoon, late in the afternoon of Easter, of the day of the resurrection. And these two disciples are kind of strolling around, and they're discouraged. They don't know what's happened. They've heard the stories, but they still don't know what happened. And lo and behold, Jesus comes to walk with them, and they still don't recognize him. They don't recognize him until what? The breaking of the bread, the Eucharistic celebration. They see him. Now think about what has happened these past few days, especially with the resurrection. For on Good Friday, what do we have? On Good Friday, we have the hatred of Jesus and his message, and we have his death. And then on Easter, early in the morning, death to life. Life again. Death is overcome. Hatred is overcome. Love shines forth. There was confusion and discouragement. And then hope. Hope comes on Easter morn. Even though the disciples are still a little confused, there's hope. There's hope that the resurrection has occurred. And later on, the disbelief and confusion leads to faith. So what do we have? We have life. Life out of death. We have faith and hope and love. That's, of course, the message of Easter. That's the message of Jesus Christ. And he's basically showing us and telling us and living again to say, no matter where you are in your journey of faith or journey of life, you can find out of discouragement, out of wherever you're dead interiorly, you can find faith and hope and love. You can find that joy. Sometimes with all that goes on in our lives, perhaps we're discouraged, as the disciples were. And Jesus says, basically, throughout his life and throughout the words and belief in the resurrection, find the courage, find the faith, find the hope to live in love. And if you get discouraged or you're questioning, then listen to what happened to those two disciples on the road to Emmaus. Because, by the way, you're here for the Eucharist. You are here for that moment when the water and wine become the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And that's what revealed everything to those two disciples. So wherever you are in your journey, this is a moment when we physically have Jesus present to us, as the disciples finally did on that road to Emmaus, and later on in the upper room. Jesus comes to us, and he comes to us wherever we are in our journey. Whatever is happening to us, he comes to us. We must be open to that. We must find the faith. We must seek the hope. and ultimately, we must live in love.